in their beautiful form. They're still in their beautiful righteousness. They're not attached to this temporary physical vessel. So it's not a matter of can we communicate with angels? Can we communicate with spirit? The answer is yes, we can. Okay. And we do all the time. That's how you're able to send telepathic messages to people. That's how you're able to think of someone and then they call you. That's how you're able to say, I wish I had a cat. And then someone says, hey, I have some cats I want to donate just to you for free. And here's some food and here's some litter, right? That's connecting, communicating with spirit, with your angels, with God, with divine source, with your spirit guides, whatever title you want to put it on, because we are all spirit. Just as this incense is wafted in front of me, right? The smoke keeps flowing from the incense. And by the way, the incense I'm burning is Archangel Michael. So his energy very present here. But just as this incense is flowing through, that's the same as our spirit. Our spirit is just flowing through. It's just air. It's just ethers. I hope that makes sense. Okay. They don't want you to be unmuted.
I was fighting. And a part of this, I might have to repost the video because I pressed go live and I'm not sure we did. We didn't. So that's fine. I have to repost the video, but interesting, tricky today that it's being a little bit funny. But so you work and you do angel oracles. How do you feel this is helping people versus other kinds of oracle readings? Because not all oracle readings are angel oracles, right?
No. And just because I am an angel oracle, I do connect with all spirit. So I'm also a medium. So sometimes ancestors come through, passed on loved ones come through, spirit animals come through. My channel is just open. I've had Galactic Federation come through, divine source itself. I feel like sources come through. So it's just the channel and the vessel that I'm open to. But for me, because I can only speak on myself, I've seen other people do readings on YouTube, and I have a spiritual mother, right? Just as you referenced, you met her during the conference, Ecliptic Spirit. Yeah. Christic Psychic is what she's going by now. But the way how I conduct my sessions, I open a portal, a channel for your higher self and my higher self to connect. So how it looks when I do my readings with people, I'm, for visual aid for your human mind to comprehend, it's like I'm sitting at a table and your higher self is sitting at a table, and there's messages that's flowing through the person or the group of people, flowing through that vessel, coming to my higher self, and then it's implanted in my first mind, in my first eye, in my mind. I'm trying to make sure I use words that's digestible, but that's how I provide my readings. So whenever I connect with individuals, whenever I connect with your spirit, that's why I can do my sessions either virtually, I can do them in person, I do them on the phone, it doesn't matter, because I'm connected in the spirit. And then I provide confirmation or clarity based off of what it is that you're looking for. So if you have specific questions, whatever your team gives me, I answer specifically. If you're looking for general guidance, it's what you need to know at the most present time. So it's not only just your angels I'm connecting with, but I do work heavily with the archangels, which is why I dub myself the Angels Oracle.
Okay. I think it would be important to, because I'm not sure that it was recorded and everyone's like, where are you guys? We both started out with World Financial Group. Chanel was one of my spiritual mothers, the first one to teach me about spiritual cleansing, the first one to teach me about moon ceremonies and ancestor ceremonies. but we had been together for many years at a financial company. And so I'd had an opportunity to watch her grow and flourish and completely remain in a positive mindset while we were both learning about abundance and mindset and reading lots of the same books, Think and Grow Rich, Science of Getting Rich, Power of the Subconscious Mind. We did the rice experiment in our office. So many things that we did that I know I was there for maybe from 2017 to 2020. So I was there for 3 years. How long were you there? You maybe about the same amount of time?
About the same. End of 2016 into 2020. Yep.
So yeah, and so then both of us around 2020, seeing what was going on, took our step away from just focusing on this type of abundance, on a more level of abundance with maintaining our spiritual energy fully, but not just working in a finance company. I think we both stepped away at the same time and both pursued more spiritual endeavors, which I just was at first just interviewing people and then saw one of her classes. And then I was just seeing some different things and it took me down a path, but definitely I consider her one of my spiritual mothers. So I'm just kind of reiterating what everyone missed. And then at that point, she was explaining her upbringing in the Jehovah's Witness community. Now, when you did get married, though, was your husband a Jehovah's Witness or was it? Oh, okay, so
No, yeah, neither one of them. My first marriage, that I got married in 2006. He was a Catholic. He's Haitian, and he was a Catholic. And then my marriage now, I divorced him in 2011. I got remarried in 2014. To my daughter's father. So when we got married at the time, we had our daughter was, how old was she? I don't remember. She was in middle school when we got back together and got married. But he was not, he was never really religious. He was raised as a Baptist, but he always was on the path of spirituality. So before I even came into the picture, he was on his spiritual game. That's why he was able to open my eyes and give me answers to certain things, point me in the direction of Santos Benaki, as I mentioned earlier. And I cannot remember the other gentleman that he referred me to, but he used to be a witness as well and very enlightened, very, deep into the esoteric. And that's what helped me get on my path.
So just going back to your first marriage, so your husband was Catholic, you coming out of the Jehovah's Witness, like that was a big transition for you. Did you just leave the Jehovah's Witness, or did you how did you meld that together? Because you're talking about total
Yes.
dichotomy there. So how were you able to navigate through this? And I obviously you were opened up to a different way of thinking about the divine. So can you just kind of elaborate a little bit about it if it's not too difficult for you to talk about that?
No, not difficult at all. So when I'm originally from Miami. When we were in Miami, he would go and do his church services with his family. I was not going to the Kingdom Hall, which is a Jehovah's Witness church. Sometimes I would go with him and his family, but not really. It wasn't really a stickler. And then as we were getting ready to move, because he was in the military, so as we were getting ready to move and be reassigned, I started going back to the Kingdom Hall, and he wasn't against it. He did support me. As long as he could do his thing, I did my thing, we were fine. And the children, they came with me to Kingdom Hall, and they really are the ones that kept me in it. That along with fear, because I used to always be afraid. I didn't want my children to die, right? I didn't want the angels, because I was always taught that angels were God's warriors, that they were ferocious, right? So even now being the angel oracle, I was kind of timid, like, I don't want to connect with these energies that will bust my forehead. I was always taught You know, if I don't follow God's law, if I don't listen to Jehovah, the angels will come in and bust my forehead at Armageddon and I'll be dead, right? So he allowed me to go to the Kingdom Hall. It wasn't too much of a rocky navigation. Our marriage was very toxic. And that, like I said, that fear really kept me going, because I was wondering if me trying to break away from the religion was a self-fulfilled prophecy of, if you don't listen to God's commandments. You know, my mom had told me I shouldn't marry him, and I still did, right? Because he doesn't love God, right? And the things I was going through, I was afraid I was being punished. So that kept me in the Kingdom Hall even more. The fear of losing my children kept me in the Kingdom Hall even more. The fear of disappointing my family kept me in the Kingdom Hall even more. But that wasn't a reason to keep me grounded. And I mentioned prior, I always knew that there was more than what this religion was telling me, especially because I was able to read a lot and dive into things a lot. So I just had to eventually get sick and tired of living the double life. I was tired of wearing the mask. And after I got divorced from my first marriage and I moved back, at that time we were in Kentucky. So I moved back to Florida with my children. And just speaking with my current husband now, I was like, I need something better. I need something different. And I would ask him questions, and he gave me answers that resonated in my soul. It was important for me to have things that resonated with me, because my whole life I was getting answers and getting things from the religion that wasn't resonating, that didn't make me feel good. And it was scary and I was worried, but I was actually able to step out and say, you know what, it's okay to be different. And my ex-husband, in his Catholic faith, like I said, he didn't um discourage me or, force me into something that I didn't want to do. But even when I went to the Catholic Church, the Holy Mary, I realized that the things I saw on TV was not what they practiced in church, because it was black people in the church. It was Black Madonna in that church, the holy water and communion. I'm like, okay, so there's different sides and sticklers to things that's happening, and that's just insanity to me. It's insanity that people are being lied to, and there's so much confusion and discontentment. And the whole religion thing always rubbed me the wrong way my whole life. I was afraid the whole time I was in religion. And me being on my spiritual path and my spiritual journey, sometimes it's a little frightening just because of what you encounter. It's mind blowing. But all in all, it's so much more freer. I feel so much better on this path that I'm in than I've been in my whole entire life.
So I could ask a million questions and we'd be here till midnight. But so how did you now move into the whole angelic realm? Because obviously your background wasn't that. Your present husband opened you up. But where did you make that transition to not to connecting with the angels, feeling comfortable with that aspect, and then moving from that? Yes, I know that COVID and everything changed, but how did you, from where you were, say 6 years ago, to where you are now? How did that, that's quite a big change for you to make. And you talk about a leap of faith. You obviously had that within you. So did you have a specific incident that said, oh, I see, because a lot of times that happens, whether it's in, some people have a near death, sometimes they just have this amazing information that just comes to them, whether it's in a dream or just they have this awakening. Did that happen for you, or was it more of just a little bit here and a little bit there? And who was, I'm asking you all these who was the first angel that spoke with you? Yeah, choose however you want to ask. Because I said I can ask you a million questions, so I've given you some to go on here.
I got you. Okay. So much. So with WFG, with the financial business, I actually going through Bob Proctor, that mindset training with him, and just a tidbit because they keep saying this, but it led me on a pathway of opening up my mind, of seeing things in my head and holding it in my hands. Okay. That's Bob Proctor's favorite thing, seeing it in your mind and holding it in your hands. And I was listening to Ralph Smart, Infinite Waters, and he talks a lot about everything, all types of topics. And one day I was doing an abundance meditation with Bob Proctor, and I saw something that I couldn't quite put my finger on what it was. I couldn't quite fathom it. And I was just like, okay, I need more. I know what I saw. I didn't know what to name it, but I need more. So at the time, the only spiritual individuals that I knew I could go to would be my husband or back to YouTube on Infinite Waters. And I said something to my husband, and he gave me an answer that felt good. And then about a couple of days later, I was watching Ralph Smart, and he kind of reiterated and touched on the topic. And I said, oh my God, I was just asking about this. And I'm laughing because it was 6 years ago. It was in 2018. Okay. So I was like, all right, okay, bet. Now I know what to do. And Ralph Smart had said, who are you really? If you won't really know who you are until you name yourself, basically. So I went into a meditation and I was like, what's my spiritual name? Give me a spiritual name. I need to know what it's going to be. And I had always been obsessed with the infinite sign. I have this tattoo. My husband, me and him have matching tattoos, but always obsessed with the infinite sign. And I was like, it should definitely be something with infinite. I know that's what it should be. What is it? And Michael, Archangel Michael, to answer you, he's the first angel that stepped forward, only for me to find out that that's my angel. I work closely with Michael, and I was like, what? I got the power of Michael on my side. It was so exciting. But in that meditation, I wanted to find out my spirit guides. I wanted to know the names. I wanted to know how to connect with them. And that is what led me to this aha moment. Wait, I can talk to the angels. So I started watching card readings on YouTube, tarot. And I was like, I don't really like the tarot. I didn't like the way it was making me feel. And one of the readers was like, I'm going to veer off from my regular deck and use an oracle deck. And I was like, oracle deck, hold on. And that sparked my interest. And then I just started following, looking for more. I really liked Ask Angels with Melanie Beckler. And I bought her deck. She had 2 decks, and I bought her Angel Ascension deck. And it was very fascinating because at the time, my team name in WFG was Ascension. That's what I called my team. So I was like, this is perfect lineup. And then I would pull cards and do things for myself and for my family. And I was like, okay, this is so much. It was so overwhelming because it was coming at once. And then in 2019, I did a reading for a friend of mine and brought him to tears. And he said, you need to share this with people. With this one deck that I had for just 1 year, he was like, you need to share this with people. And I was timid. I wasn't unsure. I went on for another 2 years. And then finally, I created my YouTube channel, and then I started my website, settinginfinitegoddess.com. And the name of Setting Infinite Goddess is the name that came to me through that meditation when I was asking, what is my spiritual name? What should I call myself? What is my persona? So how I came up with that name, because I know that's probably going to be the next question, with the meaning behind it, ascending, because I'm always in a state of ascension. I'm always in a state of growing, of elevating, of rising to the occasion. Infinite, because I'm an infinite being. I know I'm an infinite being, and I've learned some of the infinite energies that I've encompassed in my soul signature. I've done past life regressions and seen other lives that I've had. I've seen future lives. I've seen wonderful, just wonderful things. And goddess, because I knew I wasn't a queen. I knew I wasn't a princess. I knew I wasn't an empress. But as I started to work more in my magic, I do use different elements to enhance my energy. That's all magic is. As I started to use my magic and enhance it, use it more, see how it grew, I was like, part of my language, I was just in my goddess shit. I was like, I can do these things. In that era. And that's how that all came together. And in my meditation, when they said it's an infinite goddess, it took a while for me even to mutter it because it felt so strong and it felt familiar but foreign. And as I grew with my meditations and my grounding, as I stated, and working with crystals, it just became a part of me. And here we are today.
So okay, so you were just talking about your meditation, your crystals and stuff. Do you get the guidance from your guides that, I think you need to maybe check into this, and then you have synchronicities that bring you forward into a path that you would not have necessarily thought you're going on, and it's like, I thought I'm going this way, but I guess I'm going this way. Is that how you experience your relationship with the divine?
Yes. Yes, every day. And they're laughing at me right now because I'm also clairaudient, so I can hear spirit, but they're laughing because that happened to me today, this AM. Like it's all the time. I'm always walking in spirit. But this example for today, synchronicity. I am currently on day 17 of a 31-day energy check-in journal prompt. Okay. And the prompt for today that my higher self gave me was speaking of things that you used to do as a child that brings you joy that you still carry on as an adult. So I said one thing was writing for me, always writing. And my spirit guides have been on me. My team has been on me to put together something for a book. But I'm like, I don't have time for that. I am so busy. My business is going. I have speaking engagements. I don't have time for that. And I mentioned it in passing in my video. Then one of my viewers commented, you should write a book. And then my friend was here and she was like, are you ever going to write a book? Now, she didn't see the video or anything, but she was like, are you ever going to write a book? I'm like, what is happening? Why are you asking me these things? Then I had a client, because I had readings today before I came on the show, and they were speaking of how they want to get their book going. And do I have any ideas? And is that something that I've ever seen myself in? And I'm like, why are you asking me these questions? This is your reading. But that's how spirit works. They just always. And sometimes I could be thinking something and wondering something, and then I hear, a response, because I am clairaudient. So I know the difference between my higher self, my spirit guides that I'm aware of, if it's Archangel Michael or if it's just another entity that's coming forth. I can tell the difference. So yes, they're always talking to me. I'm always there. Yeah.
So you said you're clairaudient, but are you also claircognizant or like, do you have that knowing? I know for myself, it's just like sometimes I just get this download of information, and then it's like all of a sudden I've just got, it just keeps going and going, and so it's like there's not necessarily words, it's thought forms, or it's just it's knowing. You get that as well?
Yes, I do. Yeah. A space of knowing. That's why I'm an intuitive reader. How I frame myself is not so much psychic energy. It's my intuition. My intuitive nature is flowing through. And it's just, I just know these things, right? If I'm in doing a reading, whether it's for collective or for individual, they may give me a picture or something. And I'm like, okay, are you familiar with this? Let me expand on this topic. And they're like, oh yeah, that's perfect, right? One time there was somebody, I didn't even know this person because I don't watch sports, but they were a baseball player. And I was like, are you familiar with baseball? And they said, I was like, because they're showing me this scenario of baseball, like what happens here. And they're like, yeah, I'm a minor league baseball player. I said, oh, I didn't even know that, right? So that's how it flows. And then I can just gather my, share my information from there for the individual or individuals.
Do you I'm not sure how to word this, but do you find that sometimes people question you? Do you sometimes get people who come to you who are there almost like they want to disprove you? Like, do you sometimes get that from people? Do
I
you
do
understand
some,
what I'm saying?
yeah, I do sometimes get that. However, it's very few and in between because the way how I have my energy set up, people can't find me unless they're ready to hear my message. That's one. Now, if there are a few that slink through because they are ready to hear, but they still have some resistance, normally I can pick up on that, right? I had that this morning. They were very logical. There was so much in their left mind. So they were like, how is it that you can read my energy and tell me these things if you're not here face to face, if you don't feel me? And I just explained to them, I'm an intuitive. I hear, I just know. And you'll see as this reading progresses. And sure enough, by the time the reading was done, they're like, yeah, right? It's a matter of individuals, again, moving out their left, out their logic, out their physical, tangible mind, and moving more into their spiritual, creative, their cognizant arenas of their mind so they can receive the messages that's being shared. And sometimes I'll read and people will, they may have a blank face or they may not confirm anything that I'm saying. But my confidence and my knowing, my awareness, and because I've been doing this for so long, I don't allow myself to be stirred. It's like, whether you want to confirm it or not, I know this is what's happening because this is what Spirit's given me. I know this is, actual factual in the way I like to say things. But yeah, I do get that sometimes, but not often because I set myself up that way because it's not about the money for me. It's about me helping you get to the next journey, get to the next level. Because I need you to get to the next level so I can get to the next level. So we all can get to the next level. We are all in this together as a collective. And as I help you grow and you get better and you move out of a state of bitterness, sadness, depression, anxiety, confusion, as you move out of that and you move into an arena of happiness, joyfulness, confirmation, gratitude, love, peace, as you move into that, whatever blessings are meant to come from me are coming. I'm so far ahead of the game already. My blessings come all the time. My financial gains come all the time. So I limit who I connect with, how they connect with me. It's like, listen, if you're not ready to take this serious, then I'm not going to exert my energy because it is a lot of energy to do what I do. I'm not going to exert my energy if you're just going to be a pessimist. And I make sure that I set that wall up. That intention is set up before, anyone can connect with me.
So do you see yourself as that bridge between, because, okay, you've used the word ascending, right? And we're all moving into a higher frequency. And do you see that yourself as that bridge between that lower density to moving up? Do you think that, not that you're the only one, but do you feel that people are being guided to use your side of the bridge?
Yes and no. I'm not a bridge to connect or to help you ascend from a deep lower density to where it's hard for you to get over the hump. I'm maybe step 3 of 5, right? I'm right in the middle. So you've overcome many things. You're aware of many things, but you're looking for some clarity and confirmation. That's where I come in. I have people that I repeatedly connect with, and I have people that you're only meant to hear one message from me and to continue on. But the services that I provide, I'm more of a, you know this, you know what you're supposed to be doing. Here is the clarity to get you there. Here are the steps you need to take. Here's what's going to happen afterwards. Here's what you've already overcome. You're not crazy. You're all good. Here we go. Right? That's where I am. Kind of, they're giving me like a slingshot. So as you pull the slingshot back and back and back and back, right, it's gaining a lot of momentum. And then once you let that slingshot go, it's like, pooh, right? I'm right before you let go and start to take off on your journey. Yeah.
I did want to say something about that because you consider yourself more step 3. When I hear that, that makes me think that some people think that they're going to go get these magic readings and it's going to put them where they need to be and that they're not going to have to do the work. And so basically what it sounds like you're saying is, no, you're going to have to go through some things. You have to open your eyes, keep them open, do some work. And then I'm here to help you as a conduit shift forward to another level. But no, you don't skip from level 1 to level 5. You don't just come from not being responsible for your actions, not being accountable, not speaking what you want into your life, not understanding, having a little bit of self-awareness to just coming into the light, where I think some people are really looking for teachers that they can literally follow. Do you have people that you feel like, well, I know you set your energy to put yourself in a certain place, the people that belong to you, the people that belong in your circle at that particular time, where there are some people who they really just want someone to follow so somebody else can do all the work, all the thinking, all the heavy lifting, and then they can just, I'm just going to be all right. It's almost like they're just looking for oracle readers and guides so that they could be a savior again and put you back in this position of this person's going to save me, rather than I'm a conduit for you to become more of the person that you want to be, but also being that conduit to help you, the answers that I'm giving you, to build yourself to get to where you can get these answers for yourself, from yourself. So I don't know, that's a lot that I said, but if you wanted to comment on that.
Yeah, no, you said it perfectly. That's it exactly. I am that conduit. I am just one wire of the many wires that make up your life. And I'm a guide. I am not a savior. I've had to come to grips and terms with that, because I say I don't want followers, but that's the wrong connotation. It's not that I don't want followers. It's I don't want people to worship me, because we're not in a religion. I don't condone or advise anyone to worship anybody or anything, any goddesses, right? Any pathways. It's all about organizations and affiliations, okay? And I'm here to help you get affiliated with the right energy to get you on the path of least resistance. I am just one step of the many steps that you have to take. But all of my readings is always focused on what you need to do to fix you. Somebody comes to me for love. How do I get a better relationship? How do I fix my marriage? Here's what you do for you. Because as you work on you and you raise your vibrational set point to a certain level, once you get to that level, to that degree, everything else around you follows suit, because you are the beacon. You are the channel. You are it. And everything else around you revolves around you. Everything else around you worships you or follows you. It's based off of what it is that you're outputting. What is your output? So once you change your output by correcting your input, then everything else is just going to fall in line. So you're not happy with the life that you're living, you got to change something. You're not happy with the way how you look, you got to change something. You're not happy with the thoughts that you're making, you have to change something. It's not something that anyone else can do. I can't do that for you. I'm just going to show and highlight the things that are going on with you so that you can make better decisions for yourself going forward.
It's almost like you're like, I'm going to help you by being a mirror for you right now and help you with a little bit of self-awareness, and whatever you do with it, that's up to you. It's so funny because you're saying if you don't like, especially when it comes to your relationship, if you don't like how you're being treated, change something about you. And darn it, if you begin to change the way that you treat yourself, it will change the way other people are allowed to treat you. And you, by this choice, can make people move away from you or towards you, you know? So it's an amazing message because it's just way more powerful than what people really understand. Because I really see people, especially a lot of readings they want is, what can I do about my relationship? And does this person love me? And it's amazing how somebody can repeatedly ask, does this person love me? The fact that you have to ask that question is already telling you the answer that you don't want to hear. And you want someone else to tell you something because it's not what you want to hear. And so you keep wanting someone to give you a different answer, a better answer.
So to reiterate on that a little bit, because I always share my personal view. Sometimes people look at me and they're like, oh, your life is so perfect and well put together. What do you know about this? What do you know about that? As I said, I was raised in Miami. Okay. Not Miami on TV, unless you're thinking about Miami Vice, right? I was raised in Miami. And with being a Jehovah's Witness in that arena, my mom tried to keep me very sheltered because we weren't in the ghetto, we weren't in the projects, but we were in Miami still. Okay. So there was some gangster shit happening. All right. So I wanted to get out that environment. I grew up without my father. I always said, whatever children I have, I want them to have a father. Hence how I ended up with my first marriage. He was my third baby daddy. Okay. I had 3 children. My first son, I had 3 days after my 17th birthday. His father was my high school sweetheart. I thought he was going to go to college and take me away with him. That did not happen. He wasn't even there for my pregnancy. Okay. So fail. Second time is with my husband, who I'm married to now. But at the time, I was 19. He was really Miami, rough around the edges, had just came back from Atlanta, and he wasn't fitting the bill of what it is that I wanted. So I was like, no, sorry, you can't really give me what I want. My third child is now for my first husband. And he was a tall, dark, handsome, spoke Creole, French, right? Very exotic. I loved it. He fit, he had the money, he did what it is that I thought I wanted and needed. Only caveat of that was he was abusive. And I had the first sign of that when I was pregnant. He got physical with me. I got upset. I called the police, but whatever. He had what it is that I wanted. So I decided to dismiss that. So went along. My mom barely knew him, but she said, any man that wants to marry you that you've had issues with, who doesn't know your mother, you don't need to marry him. And I said, whatever, miserable Jamaican lady, you just mad because I found me a man. Okay, went on about my business. Got married, abuse continued. Okay, it took a lot for me to finally get out that relationship, right? That's why I was scared and kept going to Kingdom Hall. That's why I felt I was being punished, okay, by this man. But it took a lot for me to realize he was doing it because I was allowing it, because I invited it. Because at some level, growing up, my mother used corporal punishment, belts, extension cords, whatever. So abuse equated with love. That's fine. I get hit, it's because you love me, right? It's because you want to correct me. I was scared because I felt I had nowhere else to go. And who else would love me? I got 3 children. I'm 22. Who's going to love me and take care of me? and I invited and allowed the abuse. Once I got my self-esteem back and my self-confidence back to say, enough of this, I was able to now, lesson learned, I was able to walk away, leave, and get out of the situation intact for the most part. It took years of healing, but I had to go through that experience. That is what I mean by you have to change something about you. Because if I didn't change the way how I viewed myself, if I didn't change the way I felt about myself, I would still be in that crappy situation, and I would be none the better for myself or for my children. Okay. So he loved me. I could ask all day, does he love me? Of course he loves me. He loves that I cook, that I clean, that I let him beat my ass. He loved that. But am I willing to continue to deal with that? Am I willing to continue to go through that? That is what I mean by you have to change you first. Change your thought process so you start acting different, so you can change your actions, so you can make a decision either way. Am I going to fix it or am I going to leave it? Because just because you change something about you, that doesn't mean that now everything is magically good and working together and going to be substantial. Sometimes it's I changed something about me and you're not jiggy with the change, so now you have to go. And that's okay too. It's okay too. It doesn't make you a failure. And even if it does make you a failure, it's okay to fail sometimes. Because in everything, if it's not a blessing, it's a lesson. And sometimes our failures are our biggest lessons.
I love that you said get jiggy with it. If you're not jiggy with it,
that's it.
It brings to mind, like during our time together, I named myself the First Lady Erica. And I thought, I'm for sure people in the office probably didn't really get it, because while we were working together, I was going through my own like bullshit type of stuff. And then I heard about reputation goals. And so my reputation was to be the First Lady Erica. And I started to ask myself too, with some of the things that were happening in my own life, would the First Lady put up with that? And then that's when I started seeing like a huge shift, because I had to ask in each situation, if I was truly the First Lady of my own life or the First Lady of a province or something like that, would the First Lady put up with this? And I was like, no, she wouldn't. What would the First Lady do? And so I had like my own third person out of body where I could say, let's ask, because, in some of the books we read, it said you should have your top 5. So I made that persona like a part of the top 5 to begin to remove things from my life. But like you're saying, if you're going through these extreme negative parts of the relationship, one question I try to ask people too, and I'm sure you're asking these same questions, what if it never changes? If this person, because I think people get this hope that, oh, this other person's going to change. They don't look for the change in themselves. They think, oh, he's going to get better. Oh, the person has potential, which I'm going to ask you even about that word potential, but they think that if that person changes, but I ask people, what if they never change? What if every day for the next 100 years, this person was like this? Now, do you feel you can tolerate this for the rest of your life? Now make the decision based on if the person never changing. But people keep throwing this word potential. But I'm now thinking, isn't potential like a bullshit word? Because everyone has potential, but doesn't mean anything. We potentially could do anything, but that's your expectations.
Yes, exactly. That's it. Exactly. So everyone has potential, right? It's the energy signature, right? But the potential that you view for others is based off of your perspective, their cousin. Okay. The potential that someone else sees for themselves is based off of their perspective. So in order for the potential that you see and this person sees to gel and to manifest, is if you both are on the same page. You have to be walking together and moving forward towards that goal. But if they're on the opposite end of the spectrum from which you are, And you're like, well, potentially they could do this, right? They have so much potential. I see the goodness in them. I see the beautifulness in them. I see what they can aspire to. I know that they're so intelligent, but they're thinking, I'm the stupidest person in the world. I'm the worst person in the world. Nobody loves me. They're never going to aspire or ever reach that potential that you see for them, because their perspective is different. So it's not that it doesn't mean anything or that it's a bullshit word. It's just based off of what is the potential that you're truly aligning yourself to.
I think even in some of our classes and training, they said, like, you don't want to work with potential. You want to work with, I can't remember what he said though. Don't work with potential, work with what is actually in front of you. Because I think in our business, we're telling people, you could be great. And they're looking like, no, I can never be this thing that you, because we're looking from the outside with our magical eyes, wanting this, with expectation for other people, things that they don't want for themselves. I'm going to say, honestly, that's a part of why I really pulled back, because I started to understand, number one, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. When they're not at the point of self-awareness, if they're at the level of safety and they're just trying to fill their needs with safety, and they're trying to just find shelter, or they're in these different stages, they can't realize and master potential, because they're not at the level of self-awareness yet. They're not at that level. And so we're trying to take people out of where they are and push them when there's lessons that people have to learn. And I think even in our magical lives, right, we're talking to people who we see them maybe messing around in some fuckery, and it's like, okay, but they have to go through that. And we think we can just give people unsolicited advice. So do you have any thoughts about that? Like giving people unsolicited advice, trying to fix their situation, thinking you could save them from their karma. But
unsolicited advice is sometimes necessary.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you are the person giving the unsolicited advice, you have to know how to control that. How much of it are you supposed to share? When are you supposed to share? Because in today's society, in the paradigm that we live in, a lot of people are not used to asking for advice or asking for help. They may not even be aware of the infinite possibilities without them, or among them, or in front of them. So they may not even know, okay, I should ask this person this, or does this person have an opinion about this? So sometimes you have to give that. You have to, especially if you have that urge, because your spirit is urging you, is propelling you to share this unsolicited advice to this other person. Their spirit is saying, hey, I'm open to it. You got it. You have awareness. You have, some type of wisdom and understanding in this circumstance. I may not expect that from you, so I may not know. So it's okay to share it. You just have to know how to control it. And if you are a person who's getting unsolicited advice, a lot of times I don't ask, but my husband always gives. Learning or understanding or accepting, comprehending that most of the time when people say, hey, let me give you my opinion, it's because they want to see better for you. They think they know what could be better for you. So it's coming from a place of love. So even if you disagree with the unsolicited advice, you're hearing it for a reason. Everything is always coming into your vortex for a reason. So take it with a grain of salt. And most of the times, what I do with my husband is say, okay, thank you for telling me that. I appreciate it. I may not ever use it, but thank you for telling me. Or sometimes I say, okay, I'm going to store that in the back of my mind, right? Learning how to be a humble and gracious receiver, even when it comes to unsolicited advice, is something that comes along with your enlightenment. It comes with your growth.
Do you think that sometimes our guides are using someone else because we're not hearing what they're saying, so they're using another conduit? In your case, your husband, or it could be advice at a grocery store of somebody coming in, and it's just like, oh, Is it sometimes our guides like, she ain't listening to me, so let me give her a kick in the rear with giving it to someone else? Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. Like the example I gave you with my book, right? They keep telling me, write a book, and I'm like, I can't do that, or I don't have time for that, or not right now, or give me some more time. And then they sent 3 people to ask me about a book. Like, really? Right? So yes, most definitely. And one of the things that I've learned the most, and how I've had to move without prejudice, is a lot of time advice will come from people that you least expect it. The wino on the corner, the homeless person in front of the storefront, the little kid that's always quiet but always only speaks up when there's something to be said. Like, very profound. And that's because they're always in a state of least resistance. There's channels that are always being opened and being given, but if you're in a state of resistance, you're not going to be able to accept it and comprehend it. You're not going to be able to gather and garner, this is what's happening. So yeah, there's always people coming in our vortex and giving us messages. Okay. I'm sorry. I need 30 seconds. Someone's about to walk up to my door. Let me see who this is. I'm sorry. 1 minute.
I have to say, I was pretty pumped because it went like a whole different direction than what I thought, even with that unsolicited advice and perspective and potential. Because that's been like a thing for me lately, is these discussions about potential. And sometimes I think it's actually quite painful, and we don't really realize how painful it is sometimes when we bring our expectations onto someone else's shoulders and they just feel like, why am I not good enough the way that I am? Where we're saying, hey, but if you only do this. And I think in relationships, we can do this when we meet people. We want them to like fulfill all these fantasies that we have. And it's like, that's really not who they are or what they are. And I hate to say this, y'all, but I mean, women, we do that. Because I think men, when they meet you, they're like, oh my God, she's got 2 feet and 2 legs. And they got these things. Ooh, yay. And they're like, not that they don't try to change you, but I think like women, they're like, oh, he's so smart. He went to Harvard and he did this and he did that. Oh, he could do this and he could do, and we get to fantasizing and putting all of these burdens on other people's shoulder, where we see how that person is so smart and we think can change, and it really more comes out to be more of a burden to them. I don't know, Terry.
I think, yeah, I think we overthink things sometimes, right? And we're in our heads, and we are expecting that other people are thinking the way that we are, especially when it comes to a relationship. And the communication isn't always as we think it is. We think we're communicating what we've been saying, but they may not be hearing what we're saying. I don't know. What do you think? I'm throwing it back at you.
Yeah, I think it's us. I think it's also too, like when you say being present, and what do we call that? The mindset. When you're present at the moment and just basically focusing on being present instead of thinking, oh, we could have this, we could have that. Like always fantasizing about the future. It's okay to want things, but just being present instead, and then living for the moment. And I love you today for who you are right now. I think, and so, I've even seen this during the Ascension 2, which we don't have to really get into it, but that whole idea of, oh, this person feels like they're ascending and they're leaving their partner behind and they're growing so much, and they want to say, I don't want this person anymore because they're not ascending properly. And I said, oh, do you want to throw the person out? That's like saying my 1-year-old isn't walking when they're supposed to be walking. So we're just going to get rid of this stupid baby because that stupid baby isn't walking yet. And you don't really work with people that way. That's not how love works. It doesn't work with the person growing when you want them to grow. Could you imagine being with a partner that's going through depression? And what do? Are you just going to say, oh, they're just not growing enough real quick? Now, definitely before you choose a new partner, definitely that's when you you say, hey, I'm not dealing with this because that person's got this. I don't think I love them in that way, or I don't want to start with a brick on my back. But when you've been in it with a person, yeah, sometimes you're gonna have to step back. Your husband's gonna watch the Super Bowl, even though you know that it's fake. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? As long as he don't bother you in the craft room or while you're doing your oracle cards, then you should be good. He don't bother you, you don't bother him. Like, leave people room. So we just hit on some relationship stuff. But
and that's very important what you just said, because if I didn't have that in my life, I wouldn't be where I am. As I said, my husband now, Xavier, he was very supportive, but he was way far more enlightened than I was. Coming out of that first marriage, going through that abusive situation, trying to pick myself up with the pieces, trying to figure out, is God punishing me? Do I need to get back to the Jehovah Witness? Do I need to get back to the Kingdom Hall? Is that why I'm going through the suffering? And he was so patient with me, because in his mind the whole time, he's like, this is such bullshit. What you're afraid of is so much BS because it's not even accurate. But he was patient with me. I remember one time when I first moved up here, and we don't live too far from the Kingdom Hall. It's very funny. Like 2 minutes from my house is the Kingdom Hall. And the witnesses came by in field service, knocking on the doors, right? And I told him, oh my God, they know that I'm a witness, or I was raised as a witness. I can't let them know that we're living together. Oh my God, right? And he's like, I'm a grown man. I'm not hiding in my own house. I'm not doing that. And I was like, please, 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 right? But that cognitive dissonance that I was in, that fear that I was in, right? It was taking such a big toll on me. And he was patient. He's like, I'm not going to hide, but I'll just stay in the background. I won't say nothing. If they ask me, then it was meant to be, right? But having a partner definitely that respects you and your boundaries, right? Even with my first husband, even though he was Catholic, he let me go do my thing. Maybe he didn't care, whatever it was, but just having that and having someone that's patient with you and saying, you know what, you're not quite where I am yet, but as long as you're not disrespectful, it is helpful to the both of our growth. That is so beneficial. That is so beneficial for anyone in any arena, on any level that you're at.
It's true, because I think, and I'm going to say this, because it's a spiritual community, I don't think people really understand all you're doing is building new churches because you're making all these rules. Because spiritual people, they look down on Catholic people, they look down on Jewish people, they look down on Christians, and they look down on Muslims, and they have a lot to say about what everybody is doing. But then you can see a Catholic person marry a Jewish person, and a Jewish person, like, you see intermarriages of other people in other religions, but God doggone, spiritual people who are so-called spiritual, they so spiritual, they just so better than everybody else. And they're just so intolerant of everybody else that it's like, wow, when are you going to build your church and bust out with your new Bible? Because they got all these rules on, if you had your nails, fake nails, you're not going to, it's all these rules. And it's almost, it's like a big old group of Pharisees starting all over again. But yet, here you got your 2x4 in your eye, but you want to take, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just blows me away.
Yeah.
I don't want to stay on that, but I just had an outburst. But I know that you were going to do an oracle reading for the collective too for us today.
Yeah. So
I'm looking, because that's like, ooh, I get a juicy.
Okay, so I grabbed 3 of my decks. So the first one that wanted to come out is Angelic Lightwork. We're going to use the Angels, Gods, and Goddesses. I love this deck. And, well, the name is rubbed off, but the Angel Prayers deck. That's actually facilitated by Archangel Michael, which, as I stated before, I was using his incense. So I was like, yes, Michael, come through. So the first I'm going to pull from the angelic light work. And this message is a message for the collective. All those that come on your channel that hear this message, this is angelic light work that you're supposed to be engaged in. This is light work energy that you're supposed to be sharing to help raise the vibration of our collective, help raise the frequency. And we need it at this time. It doesn't matter when you're hearing this message. It is timeless. It doesn't matter if you're hearing it day of or if you're hearing this a year from now. If you're hearing this message, it's a call to action. It's a call of duty for you to move forward in this angelic light work. Okay. So I'm going to pull 2 cards from this deck and see what exactly we're doing to help the collective raise the frequency.
You know what I bet people like the most about readings is when they hear them cards going. It's like playing slot machines or something when you hear the little ding, 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 ding.
Yes, yes. Okay, so first card out, number 38, Treasure of the Soul. Let's see if that'll focus. There we go. A treasure of the soul. There's an imagery. That's card number 38 as well. And card number 6, Finding What Was Lost. Finding what was lost. So part of your angelic light work mission is doing what makes your soul happy. Yes, that is a divination. That is a commandment. That is purpose. Doing the things that make your soul happy. If that is scuba diving, if that's archaeology, if that's coin collecting, if it's raising your family, planning parties, keeping houses clean, whatever it is, the thing that makes your soul happy. And how do you know what makes your soul happy? Because many people are like, I don't know what makes my soul happy. Like, there's so much misery going on. I don't know how to decipher that. You can always know your treasures of your soul. You can always know the things that make you happy if you would do it without any type of repayment, without any type of acknowledgement, without any type of gratitude being given to you, because just the mere fact of you doing it makes you feel good. It makes you feel grateful. You just feel so privileged to do it. There's some people that are like, I just feel so privileged to be a wife, and that is good, because there's many far and in between of people who are able to do that. There's many people that are like, I'm just happy to be a thriving, strong man in this society. I'm happy to be an example of that, because we need that. There's people that are happy that they don't have any offspring, because it gives them the ability to be free and to give to other children that may not have that freedom or that love from their parents. So whatever it is, no matter how big or no matter how small it may be, it is important and it is imperative. And if it makes your soul happy and it makes your soul sing, this is going to be a benefactor for you. Now, this card is also associated, with Archangel Uriel. Archangel Uriel is the angel of knowledge. He works and connects with you on Fridays, working with love, right? Friday, the day ruled by Venus. That's good for love, self-awareness. He helps bring in the light, or this angel, I shouldn't say he, helps bring in the light of love from divine source and helps remove and eradicate any type of darkness, shadow, uncertainty, anxiety. Okay. Archangel Uriel is working very closely with you to bring in the treasures of your soul, to bring in this happiness, this healing, this magic, and allowing you to manifest that of your greatest good. So once you find your treasure of your soul, once you find that niche and you move in it, you are fulfilling part of your purpose. Okay. Now, card number 6, finding what was lost. This is going to shadow work. I'm feeling like inner child work with this. Finding the things that you lost from the innocence of your childhood. Wow, they're bringing it back full circle to my question this morning, but that's beautiful. Okay.
That's what I was saying, because you were journaling. You were journaling and talking about things that were lost, right? And bringing it back.
Yes.
Okay.
And bringing it back. And they're like, yep, full circle. Here you go, girl. So finding what was lost. Lost is not even, it's a word that's being used just to help you cognitively receive it. But nothing is ever really lost. Nothing ever really dies. Everything is energy, and energy is always in the ethers, just waiting to be transmuted into another form. Okay? So it's more like remembering what you may have forgotten. Okay? Finding what has been lost, that joy, that spark again, getting back to things that make your soul happy. Maybe forgotten talents, things that we left on the wayside. Um, Reclaiming some of these hopes that we thought could never come to fruition, that we may feel that would never come to pass because time, energy, money, life, right? Whatever it may be. But finding what was lost and allowing yourself to work with this energy. This card is in connection with Archangel Michael. Like, oh my God, this card is with Archangel Michael. And I told you, Archangel Michael is very heavy present in this communication today with the collective. So it's, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna get the book and I'm gonna read, because there's invocations that go with every card. So let me just get the book and find it. And there's a prayer that you'll be able to work with it. But Archangel Michael is coming in to help you cut away anything that makes you feel like you're in despair, or makes you feel weighed down, or makes you forget that innocence of that childlike energy, right? That shadow work energy that you have. So I'm going to go ahead and pull. I'm going to read the healing, magic, and manifestation with Archangel Michael. Begin by placing your right hand on your heart and thinking about what you feel, gratitude, happiness, or love in your life. Okay. So place your right hand on your heart and think about what in your life makes you feel gratitude, happiness, or love. Then say aloud, Archangel Michael, you bring the strength, will, and protection of sacred fire to me now for the greatest good of all. Sacred fire brings the healing gifts of cleansing, freedom from the past, and renewal, so I may experience a new chapter in my life. Please hold and protect the sacred space for healing to happen according to divine grace. I open my heart to you, my dear angelic friends. Please empower and bless this sacred word. So be it. And as you hold your hand over your heart, you can visualize, imagine, intend, or pretend the deep indigo blue light forms a circle around you. This circle can be as small or large as what feels right to you. Let it sit around hip level as the light of that circle shines in all directions. It feels good to be in that circle. It feels powerful and positive. You can support this process with your words saying, a sacred circle of divine protection now forms around me in the divine indigo light. So what a beautiful message. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for that. Like, that's so funny that he came, well, not funny, but such beautiful synchronicity that he came through and wanted to share that sacred, beautiful, energetic prayer and allow you to feel this energy of love. Whether you do this ritual or not, you say this prayer or not, this intention is set upon your heart at this time, and it's being anchored in your super conscious mind for you to recall at any time. Okay, so beautiful message of angelic light work that you should be doing with the collective as a soul level. The next message I want to share with you all, and before I move on, anything you want to say about that?
Love it.
Okay. I want to pull a message of abundance, how to bring more abundance into our lives for those that hear this at this time. Now, this again is a timely message and it is pertinent, but it is especially ripe within the next 72 hours. Today, Thursday, is Money Day. It's ruled by Jupiter, all about expansion. But tomorrow, Venus is actually training Jupiter, and this harmonic cosmic energy that is forming, right, between Jupiter and Venus is allowing you to receive expansion on the things that you love. It allow you to receive abundance in the things that you really love. So this message to how to bring in abundance, if you put it into action, you harness it and move forward with it within the next 72 hours, it will be very beneficial. Oh, okay. For you all. All right, that card just flew out. All right, so first card, Angel of Self-Worth. You're currently undervaluing yourself. It's time to regain your self-worth. Angel of Self-Worth. And look at that. That confidence, that confident energy building and swelling in your belly, that's from your solar plexus. Angel of Addiction Healing. This is a time of positive transformation and healing. Angel of Addiction Healing. And lastly, I love this. Angel of Finances. Honor and give thanks for the blessings you're about to receive. Yes, collective. So definitely, whenever Angel of Finances presents, especially when we're talking about abundance. And I said abundance is not just about money. Abundance, even though we're talking about Jupiter and money and expansion, this is abundance and like a wealth of knowledge that allows you to bring more righteous energy into your life. But things you want to work on to help bring abundance in your life, self-worth. Correct your self-image. Know that you're an abundant being. Know that you deserve to have greatness. This Angel of Addiction Healing is coming in to help relieve this energy of self-worth, of doubting yourself, of feeling that good things can't happen. This, for one, I feel someone's winning something, a prize, if there's a raffle, if you play the lottery, that's coming in for someone for sure. That's heavy energy. But there could be raises coming in, new job opportunities, donations coming in, especially with this Angel of Finance. It's like a gift from the universe, a little, here you go, right? I'm also hearing settlement. If someone's been waiting for a settlement, or like a big lump sum payment and it's been held up for a while, if you start thinking, I deserve it, I should get it, it's coming, it's going to drop within 72 hours. The universe is just going to be like, boop, here you go. We're just waiting for you to catch up, right? It's kind of like you weren't getting this settlement, or you weren't getting the judgment that you wanted, or this lump sum payment, because you didn't know what you were going to do with it. You didn't believe, that it could ever happen for you. You didn't think it would ever come to fruition. And once you just change that and you're like, yes, I can do it, it's moving in fast, right? So definitely change your ideas of self-worth and the things that you're looking for in your life to bring more abundance. And that is definitely coming in. But this Angel of Addiction Healing, this is all about you being uncertain, unaware, anxious, depressed. You're transforming from that in a positive way. And that's good. Okay. Any questions on that message?
Well, since you said raffle, as a reminder, if you answered the question, you can get this junk book, this junk journal by Veronica. Oh gosh, I want to name her channel. But I got these journals to give away, and we missed the giveaway in the last show. But since we brought it up, the word raffle, you said a lot of magic words for me that I even I could tell you about when we get off camera. But this is from Queen Bee Fashion. So answer the question and then you can win this book. I mean, it's beautiful. We opened it up on the inside, these pages, and you can win. So Terry, I will let you, if you have anything to say about our readings that we just had this one. Are you going to another deck of cards? Because I think you have 3 decks.
Yeah, I have one more.
One more to go.
Yep.
Okay.
But anything you wanted to say, Terry?
Go. And now it's really interesting because personally, I've just been going through the whole thing with the abundance thing, and just so it's just what that was said was absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
Good, good. I'm glad it resonated. So this next message is a prayer that's been being prayed. Wondering, are you being heard? Is it being answered? And you're about to get your answer now. So let's see what prayer is being answered for the collective. What is a collective being answered? What prayer is being answered?
So the winner is Monique, our galactic star chart reader out there in California. She won the journal with the correct answer of what our last show was about. These books by Queen Bee Fashion are amazing. And I don't know if I would even write inside it or put it. It's just like she just did such a beautiful job. When you look inside, it's so much glitter and buttons and things inside. So very, very happy that Monique can win this book. It's really pretty. Look at that. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, good job. Congrats to you. All right. So, last message. Again, this is the answer to certain prayers that have been asked. Leap of faith. Yes, exactly. That's exactly how I feel. We're both looking with our mouth open because Cosmic Mama definitely said leap of faith, right? And then here, this card came out, and it didn't come out, it jumped out the deck. It leaped out the deck.
It did.
Okay. I absolutely love this. I'm ready to take a leap, angels. Thank you for doing it with me. Yes, your angels are with you. Yes. Oh my God, manifesting miracles, Archangel Orion. Thank you, Orion, for manifesting your miracles in my world. Sorry, here we go. Thank you, Orion, for manifesting your miracles in my world. And look at that. He's holding the whole universe. The whole universe is within him. The universe is the universe. And one last, the inner power. That's beautiful. Divine Father. Thank you, Divine Father, for co-creating my world with me. Here we go. Thank you, Divine Father, for co-creating my world with me. And look at that confidence in the crown chakra. But this is reminiscent again of your solar plexus. I mentioned your solar plexus in the first reading. But so the prayer that is being answered. This leap of faith is a decision that you've been debating whether or not you should do, and you're not sure if you should do it because you don't know if you have the support. Your team is telling you, yes, you have our support. Take that leap, make that jump, go for it. Take the leap of faith. There's something I actually just read in my notes that I want to read to you all about what faith is. So give me a second to pull that in. But take that leap because you have the help. You're not going to fall flat on your face. You are going to be good to go. And Archangel Orion is helping you. Okay. He's helping you manifest your miracles. He's assisting you to have these things come into your life in the way how you want them to come, in a manner that will be so beneficial for you. You just have to be confident and be in your divinity. Okay. Even though this is in the crown chakra, this is still the masculine energy. This is your solar plexus in your belly. It's right. Oh, I shuffled the cards back in. But in the other deck that I gave you for the abundance, showing the angel of self-worth, right in the solar plexus in your confidence area, there it is. And the note about faith, this is the best way I've ever heard faith defined. And it's just reminding me of this card, just reminded me of that. And it says faith, see the invisible, to believe in the incredible. That will permit you to see what the masters call impossible, the well-being. Okay. So having faith means to see the invisible in your mind's eye so you can believe in the incredible, in the miracle. Okay. So that will permit you to see what the masters call the impossible. When you think that something is so impossible and far at your reach, you won't ever strive for it. But you're getting confirmation right now from your ancestors, angels, spirit guides, divine source, the divine father, Shiva himself is coming through saying, listen, I'm destroying all that doubt, all that madness, all that uncertainty, and I'm working with you to help you get forward and get to the next step. So that is a prayer that is being answered for you. Those things that you thought were lost. Oh my God, they're bringing me back to what you should be doing for light work. The things that have been lost that you're like, I don't think I could ever accomplish this or get forward to this place. It's coming through. So take that leap. Take that leap. Like this is you. You're leaping bounds, endless magic and potential around you. Take that leap. You will not fail. It's like you're scared because you're leaping off a cliff and you're putting it all on the line. You're like, if this doesn't work out, then Bumpkiss for me. But I'm telling you, it's not Bumpkiss. You have the support and you should definitely do it. So that is that. That's all that I wanted to share with you all as far as card reading. Thank you for allowing me to connect with you all this time.
I'm so grateful you're able to be here, and I love your card readings, and I really do. It's really beautiful. Definitely hitting on the points that makes you happy. And it's funny because a lot of times when you think of your soul's purpose, people want to think of it as all this hard work, and people are focusing on like all the bad things going on. And it's like, actually, your biggest job is what? To anchor in joy. So if your biggest job here is to anchor in joy, to destroy all this loosh and negativity around us, then of course you're supposed to be doing what makes you happy. Find things that make you happy and focus on those things, and not focusing on all these battles, because and it's in mindset of fighting the war, that now when things are at peace and they don't have anyone to fight, now they've just begun to fight their soul brothers and sisters because they don't have any enemy or someone. They don't have a true enemy to target. So now maybe you need to fight, do a little bit of shadow work on that and focus on what is bringing you joy. Because I think too, we can get in these situations where we just start eyeballing everybody around us and we keep finding all this fault, right? Like, that bitch, she's smacking too loud. She's talking too much. And Terry just too damn happy. I don't know why she's so happy all the time. Why she's smiling? Why her lipstick match her glasses? She think, like we get to really getting a little bit ridiculous. And none of that has anything to do with our job. It has nothing to do with our internal thing that we can control. We're just getting a little bit bitter, a little bit grumpy, and a little bit need to get our heads back on straight. So I really appreciate your message and your time. Terry, I don't know if you had any words.
No, I want to say thank you. You are such a beacon of light, and we just appreciate you sharing and being so candid about your life and your experience, and just bringing all of this information to us, because I think on our journeys, when we can relate to people, it makes us feel like we can, when we hear other people's stories, we realize that we have that ability to overcome challenges, because you become that beacon for us. So thank you, and thank you for sharing these beautiful messages from the angels. Thank you to the angels for sharing this with us. It's been just delightful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. And we look forward to having you in the future. So if you want to, just be like, hey, I want to talk some more, anytime you just tell me or wherever, if you have a thought on your mind, like, you know what, I want to come over here and talk to you guys, please reach out. Feel free. And anybody else in the comments, make sure. Oh, wow. Let me go ahead and put up something to show contact. If you want to get readings, this girl, she got it all out here to how to find her on social media, website, the phone number, reach out. because I definitely know she has that Mother Earth energy. I call myself the cosmic mother, but I know you have that same cosmic mother energy that is down to earth and able to talk about anything. So I think a lot of times what's happening with people, they have these situations that look a little bit ugly, and maybe you don't really feel someone can relate, and maybe they feel like, oh, I don't know who I can tell this, because it can be a little dark, a little ugly, and a lot of people don't want to air their laundry, but they need help. And so don't let that stop you. You see, I mean, you went, I'm sure you could go way deeper. I'm but you're very candid, and I appreciate that. And that's one thing that I like about having conversations with you is, hey, let's just be real. Let's stop trying to fake it till we make it, and let's make it so we don't have to fake it. How about that? Let's just keep it real. So I truly appreciate it, and then send love to your family and your beautiful babies, and God bless. I just thank you so much.
Yes, yes. Thank you. I appreciate you having me on. Love to your audience. And before I let you all go, I just want to share 2 books that will help you get to another level. Okay. 1, Badass Ancestors. You want to know
Wow.
how to connect with your ancestors? This book, very powerful. Okay. Very powerful. And it's written by Patty Whittington. Okay. And the next book, Becoming Supernatural. This book by Dr. Joe Dispenza, a thick read, but a good read. Definitely. So you want to open up your channels a little bit more. That's some reading material to help you get there. And with that being said, I love you all. And until we connect again, stay alert, stay aware, and live in love. Peace.
That next time we talk, we might have to talk about some ancestors. A lot of people don't know about, invoking those ancestors. So everybody, we'll talk to you some other time, but hit us up. Let us know you want to hear about this stuff. Bye.